Far too many people in America are currently cheering on the inhumane treatment of human beings due to their existence and or administrative errors. One such recent invention is a facility being constructed in the Everglades to house detained immigrants for an undisclosed... You know what? It's an internment camp. I'm done parsing reality for people who don't wish to fully accept it.
A wise guy, eh?
Salutations, fellow nerds. I'm Rick Y, and today is July 2nd, 2025. The government has chosen to create a 5,000-bed internment camp in the middle of the Everglades in a quaint little stretch called Alligator Alley. Most of you will understand how and why this is happening. Working with local officials like Ron DeSantis, Trump is walking in the footsteps of American heroes like Joe Arpaio and Andrew Jackson. So today, we're going to explore why this is one of the most abhorrent actions taken by the federal government in recent memory. But first, some house cleaning. For the millionth time, I do not delete your comments unless they are specifically harmful or explicit towards other members of this community. If your comments are being removed, there is a chance that YouTube's algorithm is doing all of the troll moderation for me. Even people with whom I agree with have had their comments disappear. So whether you make a burner account to cry harder or scream into the void, I suggest reconsidering whether that's the flex you think that it is. If you have an issue with your comment being removed, take it up with YouTube. Don't flatter yourself. Your commentary just really isn't worth that energy. I'm just not that into you. So what's this facility called? Well, Republicans have chosen the sweet little moniker of Alligator Alcatraz. How clever. But this entire project is poised to collapse under its own weight. By late November, I would personally bet that this whole thing will be a legal and logistical disaster. Why? One very Florida-specific reason. Hurricane season. Every year for the past 10 years, except 2, the Everglades has been hit by a hurricane. Some of them have been Category 4 and 5. In 2017, Irma alone caused immense ecological damage to the region, and now the Florida government is working with the federal government to place detained individuals in tents that are already reporting leaks. These outdoor facilities are exposed to one of the most dense mosquito populations in North America, risking detainees exposure to potentially life-threatening diseases. One national ranger even quipped that you could slap your arm and get 5 with one hit. And having lived in Florida and visited the Everglades multiple times, I can attest that the mosquito might as well just be the new state bird. Suffice it to say, we're setting people up to face some of the cruelest living conditions imaginable. From May through November, not only are hurricanes a threat, but heat-related illnesses are a constant danger. Daytime temperatures regularly exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and it doesn't drop much when the sun goes down. Add a 90% humidity and you've got a slow cooker for human suffering. And if the weather doesn't get you, the wildlife might. The Everglades is one of the most biodiverse ecosystems in the United States. Coral snakes, cottonmouths, eastern diamondbacks, copperheads, timber rattlers, pygmy rattlers, you name it. And spiders? Take your pick. Brown widow, black widow, red widow, and the Florida wandering spider, which can pack a pretty nasty bite if it's provoked. Simply camping in the Everglades takes a special kind of preparation, but Republicans are hailing this as a deterrent to escape. The claim that cruelty is the point, it's being reaffirmed daily. How far the party of Lincoln has fallen, now applauding internment camps surrounded by gators and venomous snakes. Using this environment to imprison undocumented immigrants is simply monstrous. Some would even call it cruel. And that's where the legal problems begin. The Eighth Amendment in the United States Constitution specifically states, excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. Right now, Fifth Amendment violations of due process, the Equal Protections Clause of the 14th Amendment, and international human rights laws are also on the table, and this is not unprecedented. Not long ago in Maricopa County, Arizona, a notorious prison known as Tent City faced intense scrutiny over its treatment of inmates. Sound familiar? Tent City operated from 1993 to 2017 in 100 plus degree Arizona heat. Inmates were housed in military style canvas tents, originally intended for short term use. Temperatures inside the tents often exceeded 120 degrees. On top of that, prisoners endured unsanitary conditions, overcrowding, verbal abuse, retaliation, and inadequate medical care. Lawsuits cited the Eighth Amendment but saw limited success. Why? Because the Eighth Amendment requires not just harsh conditions, but deliberate indifference to suffering. And that's where Sheriff Joe Arpaio comes in, the man in charge of Tent City. He once said, quote, "It's 120 degrees in Iraq and our soldiers are living in tents and they didn't commit any crimes, so shut your mouths." That quote went viral. Ironically, it proved deliberate intent to cause suffering. Also, a reminder, we in the military volunteered for that. We trained for that. We didn't do it for punishment. Stop using veterans as props for your twisted little games. It's offensive, and plenty of us are pretty sick of it. In 2013, Arpaio was found guilty of racial profiling under a civil rights lawsuit. In 2017, he was convicted of criminal contempt for ignoring a court order to stop unconstitutional detentions. Tent City was shut down, and a new sheriff remarked, quote, "It's not a crime deterrent, it's not cost effective, and it's not humane." Donald Trump pardoned Joe Arpaio before he was even sentenced. I can't say for sure if Trump or DeSantis will openly brag when this Everglades stunt goes sideways, but given its proximity to Mar-a-Lago, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a photo op in front of a gator pit. Just the other day, Kristi Noem, Homeland Security Barbie, toured the site. Rolling Stone described it as nothing more than a cluster of plastic tents with bunk beds and cages, built almost overnight on an abandoned airstrip. The location is the Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport in Ochope, Florida. The red arrow on your screen points to the airstrip. Everything not covered in little green or tan squares, that's swamp. The closest gas station is 40 minutes away. The state's emergency management director, Kevin Guthrie, initiated this plan. He also mentioned a second facility near Jacksonville coming after 4th of July because nothing says land of the free like building internment camps on Independence Day. DeSantis even floated the idea of deploying National Guard troops as immigration judges. I wish I were kidding. Since January, 10 people have died under ICE detention, 5 of them in Florida. A competitive bidding process handed out by lucrative contracts to firms establishing this site. 2 of the contractors, major donors to both Trump and DeSantis. No conflicts of interest there, I'm sure. But let's circle back to the whole hurricane season. Once this camp is full and Florida is under a storm alert, what's the plan? These aren't buildings. You can't evacuate them like you would a prison. If a Category 4 storm tears through the swamp, what happens to the people inside? If the Florida Division of Emergency Management fails to protect the detainees from harm, who's going to be held responsible? They've contracted Garner Environmental Services, a Houston-based disaster recovery company, and CDR Emergency Management, which is a firm with decades of experience in post-disaster response. These companies exist to save people from catastrophe and are now being employed to build infrastructure for atrocity. If you've never read Eichmann in Jerusalem or The Banality of Evil by Hannah Arendt, now might be a good time. The U.S. is inches away from crossing a Rubicon we may never return from, and it's happening in full view. No one can say we didn't see this coming. History is not going to look kindly on this moment. How we come back from it, I don't know. Maybe we can only hope the rest of the world treats us with the same cautious grace Germany has spent the last 80 years working toward. There is a dark cloud rising over the Sunshine State, and no amount of daiquiris or retirement homes will ever wash away what Florida is about to do. If you dig the content, make sure you like and subscribe. Hopefully, with enough storms, Mother Nature renders this facility inoperable before too many people are forced to endure it. Y'all come back now. Do you hear? All right, so a little blooper occurred while I was recording that last video, and Well, to set the stage here, what I'm looking at on my screen, I can see a portion of me while I'm recording, and it kind of catches my eye a lot. And so I try and put it down towards the bottom of the screen. So, like, the bottom 1/6 of the frame of me seeing myself was completely covered up. I couldn't see it. I could only see everything about from my shoulder up. And we had actually just found out that a woman had passed away in this house prior to us purchasing it. So I want to show you what had occurred this morning, just having found out someone had died here. And I'm pretty sure everyone can understand where I'm coming from when they see the expression on my face. Tent City operated from 1993. Luckily, that was just my cat, Chester. I couldn't see him walking in through the bottom frame of the camera, but it scared the crap out of me regardless. So, there you go. Wise Guys blooper numero uno. Y'all come back now. You hear?